Welcome to Patrice for Yoga. Today we're going to do a morning energising flow. So really ideal to do it in the morning, but you could do it at lunchtime. Just best not to do it before bed because you may not sleep that well. So let's get going. So moving on with our energising morning yoga, we're going to start on our hands and knees. So what I'd like you to do is to get a nice box position. And before we do anything else, I'd like you to just lift your fingers and place them down one by one. So lift them and place them down. Lift them and place them down. So just each finger. So look down at the ground, make sure you have a nice long neck. Draw the tummy in, belly button towards the spine. And just lift each finger up and down. Now it depends on your range of movement with your fingers. Mine's not that great actually. But you should be able to lift them off the mat a little bit. And then really push through the fingers now. So if you can see, I'm sort of making little sort of spider hands, and then lengthen those fingers away. Now then really push through the knuckles for me and push through the thumb. So everything is now in a sort of very wide hand position. So all the fingers are nice and wide. It doesn't matter if your middle finger's facing forwards or where it's facing, but the key thing to think about is that your shoulders don't feel impinged, that you feel nice and wide across the shoulders. So the elbows and the wrists and the shoulders are in alignment, and you've got nice, really nice, strong hands now. From doing those little warm-up of the fingers, you should be pushing the tips of your fingers into the floor and the finger joints, like the knuckles down towards the mat. And this way it takes the excess weight off your wrists, which really, you don't want your wrists feeling too much effort. So once you've got that position, what I'd like you to do is just warm up your feet. So keep your hands where they are. Now we'll just tap the tops of your feet. So your feet are long, you haven't got your toes curled. And you know, it just depends on your own mobility whether you can get your feet completely flat. If you can't get them completely flat, maybe don't do it too vigorously because you might be hurting your toes. I'm lucky I can get my toes and feet flat along the ankles, but I know, for instance, my husband can't, so he's more in this position, so just tap your toes a little bit. But really, ideally, we're trying to wake up the tops of our feet. So a morning wake up of the feet. So from here, I'd like you then to tuck your toes and gently lift your knees away from the mat. Now pushing under the armpits, eye gaze is down to the ground. Excuse my dog yawning in the background. And just lift the knees, keep the knees lifted. Make sure the shoulders are flat across the back. You're not arching your spine here. And you tuck your chin in to have that nice long back, and then lower the knees down. So again, we'll just do the feet once more. 2, 3, 4, 5. Tuck your toes under, and then lift. So it's a sort of centimetre really off the floor. So just lifting those knees off a little bit here, and lower. And on the last one, after we've just woken up our feet, you might want to try it, just lifting, keeping your feet flat and just lifting the knees. Slightly different feel. So just long feet and just lift. It's still quite hard, you can still feel the work across the shoulders. Draw the chin in, get that nice long spine, breathe, 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 and lower. And then push yourself back and just come down onto your elbows. And just take your neck down towards your thighs, just looking between the knees, just stretching the neck out, and then coming back up, and then just roll your neck from side to side, just mobilising your neck. You might feel a bit stiff if you've just got up in the morning, and it's good just to wake that neck up. And now keep those hands where they are, and then push yourself up, take your toes under, and push yourself into your first down dog, downward facing dog. So you might want to paddle your feet, just to get that nice stretch through the calves. And if you've got a stiff back, or you've got tight hamstrings, maybe take the feet back a bit further, and just come into that bent position just with the knees. So bend the knees and just keep going there. Just keep that nice flat back if you can. So your eye gaze is down towards your knees. let the neck just rest. And then come back up, and you might be able to take your feet towards the floor. Excuse the dog in the background. She's very noisy. She actually just wants to come out and join me, but she doesn't really join in very well. And we get a bit of a mess, don't we, Daisy? Getting a bit of a mess. Mm-hmm. Right, so we'll stay here in our down dog. Just keeping our down dog position. Stretch through the feet and stretch through the hamstrings. Then coming back and flow over into a plank. Now the work we did with the hands is really important now because we're working up and down, so energizing. But those fingers are working, pushing into the floor so the wrists aren't taking all the brunt. And tailbone up, so back over. And when you come into your plank, please make sure your tummy is pulled in. So you're just sort of using that hinge position. Draw the tummy in, and back we come. And make this our last one, flowing forwards, and this time hold our plank. And we are going to lift our right leg. Just point the toes, make sure your plank is nice and strong. So strong through the supporting leg, breathe, breathe, breathe. Make sure your chin is tucked in, length through the back of the neck. And swap legs. Oh dear, I've got a singing dog now. I don't think I need to put any music on this video because we'll have singing dogs. So we're on the left leg now. So keep going, keep going. And back up into a down dog. Just for our rest. Daisy, be quiet. Shh. Noisy dog. That's better. Then flowing forwards, and this time gently lower your knees to the ground and then come down, Chaturanga. So through the elbows down to the ground. Lengthen out, so make sure your legs are nice and long. So lift one leg, make it long, lower it. Lift the other leg, make it long. Pubic bone deep into the floor. Draw the tummy in. Now maybe just move the arms a little bit so they're underneath the shoulders, hands underneath the shoulders. And eye gaze is down and into our baby cobra. Just a baby cobra to start. Just working our backs. Getting energy in our backs for the rest of the day. Just breathe here. Breathe. Drawing the tummy in. And then if you're ready, you can come up into a bigger cobra. So just pushing into the hands a bit and just coming up. And the eye gaze is in front of you. Squeeze your glutes, draw your tummy in and lower back down. So we'll do that again. So just have a rest, have a breathe. Draw your breath in. And then as if you're rolling a marble, come up and into your cobra. And breathe, breathe, breathe. Work the glutes for me, shoulders away from ears. And lower. Now make this our last one. So forehead onto the floor. Coming up, up, up. And then lower down. So from here, take yourself back up into your plank or knees, use your knees up into your down dog. But if you want to, just come into your plank, so a bit more energy up and then back into our down dog. So make sure you get your heels and knees, your heels and feet into alignment. So what I'd like you to do here, if you can, is kick the heels out a little bit. Just to get the stretch down the outside of the legs. And then lift your hands so you're only on your wrist now, and then lay those fingers back down. Squeeze the fingertips and take that tailbone up, 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 up to the sky. And just breathe through. Now from here, I'd like you to take your right leg up to the sky. Just about having enough room to do it here. Square your hips for me by flexing your foot and having the little toe pointing down and working through the supporting leg. Then we're going to draw that knee towards our chest, in and back and up to the sky, and back in, and we've got singing dog again. I'm sorry about the singing dog. And back up. Daisy doggy, I can see you. I know you can see me. This is our third one on this leg. Back we come, and from here we rotate over. Oops, the tree's in the way now. And we take our foot down. So you can look under your armpit and see if you can see your foot. And just stretch. And then from here, we're going to just bring that leg through into a pigeon pose. So just having a stretch for our glutes, and also we get a nice hip flexor stretch on the other side. So just enjoy this nice stretch. And then we're going to push ourselves back up. We don't have much of a rest here because we're energizing. So we push ourselves back up into our down dog and get ourselves into a good position again. And again, this time just take the heels out a little bit. Lift the fingers, get them down to the floor. And then we're going to take the opposite legs. This time the left leg comes up to the sky. Three-legged dog. Square the hips, flex the toes. And then draw that leg in towards you and out and up. Got 3 of these. In towards you, out and up. In towards you. This is our last one. Out and back up. Then we open that hip. So you're looking under your armpit, looking at the opposite foot. And then we swing through into our pigeon pose on the other side. So just square your hips here, get whatever's a good feeling for you. I quite like my foot here. I know a lot of people can have it right the way up here in a sort of box position, but for my knee, and also to be able to get my hip flat down, this is the position that works best for me. But everybody's different, everybody's bones are different and structure's different. So work to your bone structure, but just have a little rock from side to side. Get that feeling of the stretch through the glutes. And the hip flexor on the right side this time. And from here we're going to push ourselves back up and back into our down dog, which is a classic rest position in yoga. And just breathing through. And then we're going to just walk forwards into the front of our mat and bring our feet together. And we're just going to bend the knees and come into a chair. So coming up into our chair posture. So again, draw your tummy in here. Maybe tuck your tailbone a little bit to get length down the back. And the arms are away from the ears. So shoulders away from the ears. And you might want to do it this way to get your shoulders in a good position. And your little fingers, just turn them around to face each other a bit and get the openness then under the armpit. So from here, just have a few breaths in chair. Just a couple of breaths. And then we're going to do a spinal rotation. So bringing the hands towards the chest and then rotating round. I'm going to go to my right to look at the camera. So just a rotation round. And just keep your hips as square as you can. Squeeze the knees together. Breathe. Just a nice rotation in the spine. And if you're squeezing your hands together, it stops you pushing too far into the back shoulder, and it's really the rotation is in the spine, not the shoulder. So, and then back to centre, and we'll go the other way. I'm just looking away from you a bit. In fact, it's starting to snow outside. Not that much is going to happen, I don't think, but it's a bit grim. And back to centre. And from here, I'd like you to take your right leg back into a lunge. And then we're just going to come up into, we're in the high lunge here. Arms up to the sky. Then push ourselves forwards. And then take our hands down. Bring ourselves back into a high plank. And this time we're going to do the other side. So from here, we're going to take the right leg forwards. And then we're going to be into our high lunge on the other side. So coming back up. And breathe, breathe, breathe. Nice, make that back leg really long. Squeeze the inner thighs together. And then we're going to come down. And finally, just to finish off, we're going to do a baby back bend. So bringing the foot back in. And coming up. And then take the hands behind. And just place them on your sacrum. I'm going to move back into the middle of my mat. Bend your knees again. It's a good energising move to do a back bend in the mornings. So draw your tummy in, make sure your tummy is strong. Push into your back. I'm going to have my hands facing down, but if it's comfortable to have them facing up, or you can go into your prayer, whatever works best for you. I'm going to have my hands facing down. So just keep the knees softly bent, breathe in and push back, push into your baby back bend, draw the tummy in, eye gaze is up, breathe, 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 and then back, and then I'm going to face you just to finish off. So we're coming up to finish off our energising morning flow, and we're just going to do a quick side bend, and you can flex that hand. Daisy, be quiet, you are too noisy, you're messing up my class today. Noisy dog. And then back down, and then the other hand. So my dog is a puppy, so as she gets older she might be able to join in without jumping all over me, but at the moment it's not so good. And then back, one more on the other side again, up and over. And you can just push your hip out a little bit just to get a deeper stretch. And then the other side. So up and down, and over, and back we come. Namaste. Thank you for joining me for a morning yoga flow. I hope you enjoyed that. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And hopefully for my next video we won't have a noisy dog singing along with us, but you never know. Thank you, have a good day.